How are you, Neil?
Hey, I'm doing great. The universe is great. It's Earth that's messed up.
All right, thank you for making the clarification. Now, we are coming up on an election, and it just feels like anything might happen. And now I'm hearing tell that there might be an asteroid heading towards Earth on Election Day. True or false, Neil?
It's true. It's true. It's a refrigerator-sized asteroid,
Okay.
and given the uncertainty in this orbit, there's a small sliver of that uncertainty that includes colliding with Earth on November 2nd.
And what would be the fallout of a refrigerator-sized meteor hitting
Yeah, I
us?
mean, you would see it if you were anywhere in sight line of when it hit. It's going, 10 or 20 miles per second. When you hit air, even though air feels like you can just move through it, if you're going really fast, it's like you're hitting a brick wall. So it would explode on impact. You would see it all around. It would be a tremendous meteor shower. But no, it's not going to harm anyone. No. But just
That
the
is
idea.
good.
It's
That's
like,
the first thing I've
universe
heard.
Say, here, take that. It just feels.
The first thing I've heard in months that's not going to harm anyone. So thanks for that.
Vindicted. Yes.
This must be a very strange time to be a scientist and to see how people, particularly American people, are reacting to data. Is it as frustrating as I imagine it is as you watch the response to COVID? So that's a yes. That looks like the clenched fists are a classic yes from Neil.
Yeah, that's my miming of how it feels. I keep wondering, what am I doing? And all these others who are on this landscape of science education, they have YouTube channels and books and video. And then I have to tell myself, maybe without all of this, it would be much worse. See, that's why otherwise nothing is working, right? So I don't know how else to feel good about any of this. But yeah, it's frustrating. And we went into that with the whole flat Earth people. I don't understand. I think science needs to be taught not as a satchel of facts, but as a way of understanding what is objectively true in nature. And then, as evidence comes and goes, okay, they're good. That's good evidence. Oh, no. And then you can sort of ride the surf into the future of our understanding of how the universe works. And that's the only way to assure that civilization will survive ourselves.
Well, that speaks to the fact that this is fluid. Obviously, we're learning more about this pandemic every day, and it's very unfair to ask people on day one to know all the answers they will have on day 200. You've described it as sort of akin to an alien invasion. Can you explain that analogy?
Yeah, sure. I mean, think about it. Suppose aliens came and they were just going to be the enemies of all humans, right? We'd band together, wouldn't we? We would say, let's put down our differences because we have a common enemy that we must defeat. Well, the coronavirus, COVID, is exactly that. All right? It doesn't care what your skin color is, what country you're born in, who you worship, who you sleep with. It doesn't distinguish. It doesn't care. And all the things that tribally divide us, it only cares if you're human. And so this is a test. It's a test. How do we, as a species, react to a common threat? And I would rate us a C-, and how we have collectively reacted to this. To have one state open up its restrictions while another state doesn't, that's adjacent to it. And I think to myself, that's like designating a peeing section of a swimming pool. That's exactly what that's like. So I don't know what to say.
Well, I think you said it pretty well right there. This season of Cosmos is about possible worlds. This is sort of other worlds that might exist, which I think probably sounds pretty attractive to people. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah. Thanks for asking. I mean, possible worlds, the obvious interpretation is they're exoplanets that we might visit or populate just to escape Earth. But I think more on a deeper level, a possible world is, think of the possible futures of Earth that we have control over. Each of those different paths is a different world. So possible worlds is very broadly interpreted in terms of how we can harness the power, the awesome power of the methods and tools of science and technology and engineering to shape a future where we will not only survive but thrive. And it's a future of Earth where our descendants will be proud for what we have done rather than embarrassed for what we didn't do or for the wanton neglect that we have expressed on trying to sustain our relationship with the ecosystem that has sustained us.
Well, thank you for always being a voice for science. I know at times it sounds like or seems like no one's listening, but I assure you a lot of people are, and it's always a pleasure to see you, Neil. Thanks for making time for us.
Well, thank you. And Cosmos is all about hope. You know, every episode we could say, you're all going to die, but we pose the problem and we give a thread of hope. And that's what we all need right now.
I am a little worried that next season is going to be Cosmos. We're all going to die. But the third season, the optimistic season of Cosmos, premieres Tuesday on Fox.